In The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, the influence of the natural law of the few, a term coined by Malcolm Gladwell in his book The Tipping Point, can plainly be seen through the character's relationships with the millionaire and dashing hero, Jay Gatsby. According to Gladwell, there exists an archetype of people who he calls connectors, who naturally bring people together, becoming the glue that holds parts of society together. In Fitzgerald's text, Gatsby has established himself as the most well-known nouveau riche man in New York. From the narrator Nick's perspective, it seems as though everyone he meets knows everyone else through Gatsby and his lavish parties. Through his own charisma and astuteness, Gatsby holds the right people and, by proxy, his fortune together. Connecting himself to the legal world of bootlegging alcohol, when Gatsby is murdered, however, his legion of friends and acquaintances falls apart at the seams without Gatsby holding them together. In the end, only Gatsby's father and Nick attend his funeral. In F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, there are many recurring instances of symbolism through recurring objects in the text. I personally decided to liken these few objects to the character Jay Gatsby in the text. Firstly, I identified Gatsby as a white rose. White roses are often used to express purity, and expressly in the text, white nods towards Daisy's suppressed innocence. Gatsby is truly the only character with pure intentions in a terribly corrupt and money-driven society, as Gatsby continues to only pursue Daisy's love. A second object that can be used to symbolize Jay Gatsby's character is a medieval knight. Gatsby often embodies the ideals of classical chivalry as he interacts with Daisy and employs the laws of courtly love as he dances around the fact that Daisy is already a married woman. Yet much like Lancelot and Guinevere, this interaction is seen truly as one of a protagonist and not a villain. Yet another symbol to identify Gatsby by would be a tree. Gatsby's connection efforts can be looped into a tree allegory, as he connected every person in both East and West Egg through his parties, signifying the stem of the tree. Once cut off, those connections, signified by the tree branches, wither and die. Finally, the last picture I chose to represent Gatsby's character is a picture of burning money. Gatsby came from nothing, earning a semi-illegal fortune simply to impress the woman he loves. He would gladly throw away his entire fortune as well if it meant attaining Daisy. In Arthur Miller's The Crucible, a principle known as the stickiness factor is clearly present. Originally coined by the author of The Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell, the stickiness factor is a portion of a trend that makes it go viral and, quote-unquote, stick as a trend. When applied to the character of Abigail Williams, the stickiness factor appears in her accusations of witchcraft. Especially among a paranoid community of Puritans, the mention of witchcraft and devilry alone is enough to turn heads. So much so that the town applies the accusations to anything out of the ordinary. The phenomenon of witchcraft has been permanently stuck into the backs of their minds, creating a state of mass paranoia and mass hysteria. There are a few objects and/or characters I used to point out bits of Abigail's own personality. The first of which I used was a character from the old fairy tale, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Similar to The Boy Who Cried Wolf fairy tale, Abigail Williams caused an enormous ruckus by starting the rumor of witches in Salem. This parallels the young sheep herder who declared a wolf was attacking the sheep. Eventually, after being fooled multiple times, the boys' village stops believing his story, and they don't come to his aid when the real wolf appears. The second character I used to describe Abigail was Lady Macbeth from William Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth. Abigail resembles Lady Macbeth in her ruthless pursuit of power that she finds as she pulls the strings behind the circulating mass hysteria in Salem. Lady Macbeth keeps her darkest intentions a secret from any other Thane in the play, as she grows power-hungry for King Duncan's throne. Similarly, Abby also hid her intentions behind an innocent, perfect Puritan girl persona, as the witch trials continued to ravage the Salem's population. The third object I use to represent Abigail Williams' character are witches themselves. Witches and connections to the occult are often seen as unnatural or a depravity of the human soul. Since Abigail was the only person in Salem actually wanting to enact her hate on other colonists in Salem, she can be easily attributed to the term witch, as it is used in its literary sense, that meaning that she had intentionally fallen from grace. The final allegory I use to describe Abigail Williams as a character relates to people's reactions to certain recent claims over alien sightings. Abigail Williams can be attributed to having similar behavior to those who claim to see aliens. She claims the influence of otherworldly beings in her mental state in causing other such harmful events to occur, allowing for conspiracy and mass hysteria to fester and grow in her community.